Alright, cool. So let me hey Donna, what go on, bro? I'll be doing doing great. I know it's been a while, man. It's been a while, but yeah, man's here now, and it's just gonna be consistency from now on. Just setting everything up. But yo, if you got any questions, just say it right now, and I'll do a little top down, and then get right to it. This pop out chat thing is not working. It would have been very convenient if it was, but fuck it. Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, doom, ba-doom, ba-doom, doom, ba-doom, ba-doom, dun, 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 dun. Alright, say no more. Let me slap some beats, bro. Just some mellow shit. Uh, My bad, yo. Just setting everything up, man. Might be there in a minute, though. I'll be there in a minute. Let me know if the beat is too loud and turn it down. Don is asking if I'm still on the seconds chart. Of course I am, bro. But I use it differently now. You see the way the way I got this thing structured, my bro. Anyway, I don't use the second chart as I did last year. Right now, I use the seconds chart to reduce risk only. And if I'm learning, oh, it's beautiful to learn. So it's either I'm only reducing risk when I'm using the seconds chart, or I'm learning on the seconds chart. But let me do my little top down. Cool. Immediately what I see is that we're at the top of the range. We have a structural low here. I need to zoom out though, but immediately this is what I see. Oh, I swear. Let me just, cool. This is the past 20 days. Cool. We've been going up. Pay attention to this low. I remember this yesterday. We were mitigating something multiple times, and there was a little unmitigated area there. I wasn't involved in it though because I wanted lower prices. I wanted to see like this taken, but whatever. We know that the we know that this is a popular pattern, you know, the first reversal being fake, but only after the trend is still relatively new, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. But now that we have this larger time frame swing, more time, something like this. If anything, I know that we're in a trending environment. We're at the top of the range, so I am not longing at the top. I'd only be interested in shorts. But that's just a 15-minute though. Really, with the 15-minute, my objective is to understand the direction of the current trend. So let's get the bare bones real quick. I'm tracking the previous candle, right? We see that this is the last up candle and we've been failing to close against it. For sure, maybe on the lower time frame, we probably see some closures, but our analysis is coming from the higher time frame to the lower time frame, you know what I'm saying? So it's important to, when you want to start building narrative, it always starts at that higher time frame. So look, I'm gonna go to the 5-minute now, and shit, on the 5-minute, there was a little closure, bouncing from this. S&D responsible for closing out of this range. That's significant. But if I'm looking to engage in a position, it would be in this area here. So, but my rule is I'm not looking to buy at the top here. And if I'm gonna short, if I'm gonna engage in sells, I have to see the liquidation of at least 3 to even consider when the market is, you know, highly likely to reverse. So what this lets me know, what the current trend is telling me right now, is that my idea of selling is early. That's the whole point of counting these moves here. So when we look at the 1 minute, oh, I need to change it. How I approached, Donna asked if I was still on the seconds time frame, right? Bro, the whole way I approach the lower time frames is, it's very, how can I call it? It's, yeah, if I had to put a word to it, it's less about trying to catch every move. That was my approach even last year when I was live streaming. But right now, it's not even like that. It's about reducing risk. It's about prices in my higher time frame area, and I know I can manage a substantial rejection from this area, but I just don't know when that initial impulse out of the zone is going to happen. So I look at the seconds time frame to give me extra insight. But of course, you know, if a setup plays up, if a setup happens, then, you know, you guys will get to see how I approach that. But look, we're all learning here, right? So the title of this stream is that the move is more valuable than the money. And this stream is meant to show you what move I'm talking about. This is the previous range at the top. Anything that you guys should be paying attention to for directional bias, its previous ranges. What is a previous range? I guess I can't start there. I have to actually tell you how it's formed, and it's by paying attention to pullbacks. So cool, you clearly see this high, you see this low. Okay, cool. So just gonna highlight these and highlight this, because this is where we currently are. So this high was created after a closure against the previous up candle, creating a high, but more importantly, initiating a pullback on a lower time frame. So the reason why I direct your attention to this is because once we get a closure against the pullback, that is what creates a previous range for the market to move back into. So likewise, what we see here, what was the low? We ended up, this was the last down candle before shifted, right here. We saw a closure against it, creating a low on a lower time frame. And what did we see? An initiation of a pullback. And more importantly, to the point now that I'm making with previous ranges, we see a closure against that pullback. Once you see that closure against that pullback, understand that the market has created a previous range to move, oh, my bad, to move back into. This for me is like foundational, bro. This shit is foundational, right? The move back into the previous ranges, you're gonna see that everywhere in the market, but that does not mean that you can take every single entry, every single move back into the previous range. Is not meant for you to engage in, but backtest this shit and you will understand that it's everywhere. It's a start. It's a start. And you know, once you backtest this and you understand that this is a move like literally coded into, I don't even want to say algorithm, but this shit just happens over and over and over again, right? Next, you want to progress into, if I had to say it, you want to progress into waiting for previous ranges to be liquidated. So once you learn how they're formed, your move, right? If you want to be on like the right side of the market, like you want to be in alignment of where the market's going to go next, your next move is to see the liquidation of previous ranges. So look, what do we see now? We see momentum towards this low here. So a closure against the previous candle, putting in this low. A move, a closure below this creates a previous range. And if you guys are familiar with the way I trade, I counter trend. So in this case, this is the previous range. I need to see this move. If I want to sell, I want to see a closure out of a previous range before even considering a counter trend move. But hey, maybe there's a better way of explaining shit, you know, but we're working on that. For now, I'm just chatting because there's no setup available to me, but that doesn't mean that we can't learn in the process of waiting, you know what I'm saying? I may change this title to instead of live trading futures, I might put New York simply, you know. Oh, fuck it. I can do that later. I want you guys to pay attention to or is that too soon? Because I don't want to give you guys information overload here. I guess I'll just talk about, you know, pullbacks and how previous ranges are formed to the liquidation of a previous range and how you can manage that. That's just it for this stream before I even say too much. But you know, when I'm trading, what I'm looking at is the 5 minute usually. On the 5 minute, I need to at least see the previous range. And when price enters, you know, a particular zone that I like, it's usually on a lower time frame that I'm looking for that the liquidation of the previous range, like on the 15-second, right? So that's why I brought your attention to that. I'm gonna change the title, spice it up a bit. I don't really know this YouTube game, but let's put like for real. Alright, cool. Let's save that. You should know that zones at the top of the range, if you want to long, it's not an area you want to be engaging in. They're meant to be liquidated. Anything above the origin, bro. If you want to buy it, don't even entertain that shit, bro. Don't even entertain that. But let me remove all this shit from the chart, bro. And just only put the important stuff in. So I really pay attention to just where I am on the 5 minute. It's also a good thing to understand. See, for me, previous ranges are like boundaries in which you can maneuver inside. You can easily see the top and bottom of the range. Alright, cool. Look, as I was explaining in the beginning of the stream, I told you guys to pay attention to, we didn't get a liquidation, but I'm sure we got a 5-second closure. Right. I mean, I stumbled on my words. We did get a liquidation. I meant to say a closure on a 15-second. That's what I usually look for. But as for learning, right, you want to understand that once we close out of a pullback like this, when we liquidate it, when we liquidate a pullback and close against it, it creates a previous range for the market to move back into. It's a mad process that you will see happen over and over and over again. And this is why I choose to trade on the outside of the range. My mind isn't so much focused onto if we're tapping into the SNDR or if we're tapping into the origin. Because when you backtest this shit, you're gonna start realizing that, oh, if I want to manage a substantial move, if I want to manage a substantial rejection, it can only be below a structural high or low. It can only be above this high. It can only be above this, below this low. But it's why is it that it can only be below this low and above this high? It's because of the narrative in which they were placed. This low was placed after we closed against this pullback, creating a previous range. And because we've back tested this and saw this many times, we know that when we close out of a previous range, a substantial rejection is usually in order back into that previous range. This is gonna seem OD, but even down to the 1 second, we see an example of this on an even lower time frame. Let me bring your attention to this, this, and this. What do we see now? Every closure we had out of a range had to move back in. Every closure we had against a pullback had to move back in. In this case, we saw the violation. This is what I wait for personally now, not on a 1 second time frame. I don't wait for enough 1 second time frame, but the 1 second time frame, 5 second, 15 second, that shit is gonna have you up to speed onto how this shit actually works. Because what happens in the second time frame, that's how the market moves on a higher time frame too. Now, what I struggled with was knowing which time frame to actually look for in terms of having a sustainable income. Because it's one thing to see it, and it's another to capitalize off the information that you know. So that's what the second time frame offers you. It offers you a fast way of learning how the market moves. And now once you take that information onto a higher time frame now, that's where your profitability lies, really and truly. On a higher time frame. And I told you guys that the same logic that I'm looking for is what I use on the 5 minute. And now when I say the 5 minute, that's specifically for higher time frame moves, which is what I'm just gonna, have you guys focus on in this stream. Especially if you're learning DTFX, just focus on higher time frame moves. Why? Because that is, look, you're gonna have two kinds of setups when you're learning the system: higher time frame setups and scalps. Knowing both of these will allow you to, build that level of discernment on how long you should actually hold on to your moves. And I believe that once you've done your top-down analysis here and all of that, right, all you really need is that previous range that you see from a 5-minute perspective. Those are the moves you hold on to, because that's what I do. And then when it comes to scalping, the 15-second is your best friend. When it comes to learning, the 1 second is your best friend, but don't trade that though. Don't trade the 1 second, please don't. But if you want to learn it, for sure. For sure. I recommend it. I know I can be a bit all over the place when it comes to communicating, my own rules, when it comes to communicating my, the rules that I follow, essentially, right? Because it's happening everywhere in the market, and the only reason I'm on the 1 second time frame even talking about this shit is because price is nowhere near for me to actually engage on, right? So I just hope you guys find it useful. But yeah, any question that you guys have, man, just put it in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Just, like, if you're learning DTFX, best believe I've gone through every single fucking obstacle that you guys are facing. Best believe that. So another detail that I could mention is when we fail to close against a higher time frame low, or just any low in general, the high responsible for it is usually liquidated. But I'm sure you guys do that. But for people that didn't, there you go. This allows you to, when it comes to trading, I believe that where we go wrong is in the way we manage our expectations, bro, on what price can do. Not will do, but what price can do. Because a lot of us, well, first of all, we are in that mindset of, oh, price will do this. And that's you thinking that you're in the lead of what the market can do, which is, that kind of mentality isn't going to get you far. But understanding what price can do can benefit you way more into just managing your expectations. You guys see the same thing over and over again? Because I do. We ended up closing. So you guys saw price pull back into this previous range, right? Then you guys see another pullback happen right here. Price ranging, we close out of it, and then you see that move back in. Happens all over the place, bro. Now it's just about, yo, how do you position yourself to be part of this impulse going up? And that's where a lot of my time back testing was focused on. And I've been able to find an efficient way to engage in those moves. But boy, it required a whole mindset shift. So look, on the 15-second, you'll understand that we're at the top of the range. Are you looking to buy high, bro? Because if you are, then my bro, that habit will not get you far, dog. It will not get you far if you're looking to buy high. We understand that the first trend reversal that we see is usually made to be liquidated. That first trend reversal is made to be liquidated, bro. So if you're going to be short in two, well, first of all, I'm going to talk about longs. If you're looking to buy high at the top of the range, no, don't. It's a rule. Don't do that. Just do not buy high. Now, look, if you're looking to short at the top of the range, that's cool. But also understand that that first counter trend reversal that you see is made to be liquidated, bro. So what's your job? If you want to withdraw profit from the markets consistently, your job is literally to wait for that liquidation to happen. Your job is to wait for that liquidation to happen before you start managing the move back into that previous range. A lot of us, when we're studying DTFX, we get tripped up on that first flip. Now, if you back test and just watch it happen, you'll save yourself a lot of emotional emotional drawdown. You know what I'm talking about, bro. God. I used to engage. I used to be that guy to, oh yeah, I see the flip. Let me get in at the 50% and move. And yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Personally, I don't really be doing that shit no more. Because I've seen that in my experience, me trying to engage in that move out at the 50% of the first, out of the counter trend reversal, leads to more losses than wins. Now, I will tell you why I was losing. Because of what I expect. Basically, is my expectations, right? If I'm looking to short, I'm looking for a low to be swept. So usually it's my expectation of where price would go. It would be overextended. Is that the word? I think that's the word. So what that meant was, if I had to engage in the market, it would of course happen after the liquidation of that counter trend reversal. And if I had to align my expectations, the best way for me to do that was to wait. And that's just, bro, when I tell you, bro, the simple act of waiting is the sauce. Waiting is the sauce, bro. Waiting, and more specifically, waiting for liquidations. Now, see me, I've got certain rules that I abide by when it comes to actually me realizing profit. And it's literally 4 things that I wait for to be liquidated. That is pretty much my mentality. Like, yeah, the system is cool. Like, bro, Dave already gave you guys the system. I'm not here to really teach that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not here to be like, oh, this is a structural high, this is a structural, this is a previous range. I'm here to give you guys the mentality you need to even, how do you say it? The mentality you need to use the system. To do what? To realize profit, to withdraw that profit, and to do that shit over and over and over again at each trading day. So make sure you're paying attention to the current trend, because that's the timing that you will need in order to actually engage in a move. Now, actually, I'm going to emphasize this as well. Hold on. Cool. Yo, once you see that counter trend reversal liquidated, that is when I personally look at the 15-second. Why do I look at the 15-second after the liquidation of the counter trend reversal? Because that is the moment where I need to be looking for my rejection into that previous range. But more importantly, I am skipping steps in it, because I was about to mention that you need a target first, of course, right? And yeah, cool. Previous candle's low, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not taking this trade. It's basically for the same reason as I was about to tell you right here. Right? I only see 1, 2, 3 liquidations. Now, in the beginning of the stream, I did tell you at least 3. That's what helped me understand that, okay, cool, not to get it straight away, right? Because a counter trend reversal is usually likely to happen after the liquidation of 3. But with just more back testing, yo, 4. Usually, when you have that mentality of waiting for 4 versus 3, you get to see the liquidation of the counter trend reversal as well. So by setting your expectations just a bit, setting your expectations in a manner that encourages more patience, you actually get to see more of what the market is doing, letting it unfold. So I told you guys, that's my approach when it comes to actually seeking setups. But the reason why I'm not seeking a setup right now, even though yes, we are at the top of the range, is because of how many swings that I'm seeing. Whoops. Alright, cool. That's 1 liquidation of 1, liquidation of 2, liquidation of 3. I'm gonna see a substantial rejection for me to manage. Let me see that 4th one liquidated too. But hey, it's all a matter of patience though. It's all a matter of patience, bro. Let me and then when it comes to scalping, alright, cool, that's fine. Just wanted to check out the the levels of the music. So let me get rid of this and just start analyzing the shit from a 5-minute perspective. God, you guys need to understand this shit, bro. So I told you guys that at the very least, when it comes to when I'm trading, I'm looking at the 5-minute previous range. When I'm trading, I am looking at the 5-minute previous range. If I want to get involved in scalps, that is literally me. That's the first step of me building narrative, bro. Looking at the 5-minute previous range allows me to know, okay, cool. It gives me context as to where I am in the range. You know what? What do we see? I see one tap, we go out, another tap, and we go out, another tap, and we go out. I'm paying attention. To this low. Okay, never mind. I'm paying attention to this flow. I want to see. So my move, if I want to long, it's going to happen below this purple line here. So what do you see? Let me actually track the 5-minute. If you guys are trading the NASDAQ, then that's cool. But if you guys need any other pairs that you want me to analyze and stuff, I've got TradingView right here, like open in it. Got TradingView right here, just here open. I like to look at. These are the pairs that I do like to look at: gold, US30, NAS, US. So if you want me to explain, want me to go over like some other charts, then for sure I can do that. I can do that. But I trade NASDAQ predominantly, so that's why you see me on NinjaTrader here. One, two, three, 4. Now I want you guys to understand something. Usually when we see this, the liquidation of the first, the second, the third, fourth, this is now the area in which you can now set your expectations to be looking for reversals. Once you see that counter trend reversal take place, which is actually at that line, the yellow line that you see me place here, then you could be looking for that counter trend reversal to be liquidated, and then you're gonna start paying attention to the S&D responsible. For real. Damn, you know what? I haven't talked about that, Just paying attention to the S&D responsible. Damn, that's how you know this shit is subconscious at this point. But yo, actually, you know what? I believe that's valid. I need to talk about that. Now, I'm not saying to use the S&D responsible as a zone to trade from, but I'm saying to track it, because if you study this material, it's just when we liquidate that S&D responsible, it's an early indication of where the market wants to go. For real, that's stars for real, because that allows you to better manage your expectations of where price wants to go. So that's the previous candle low. I want to see what kind of movement we get. But as you guys can see, until we liquidate the S&D responsible for closing out of that previous range, right? The S&D responsible for closing out of that last pullback, right? Our expectation is that price wants to continue in its direction. So let's say we do get the liquidation of this. What are our expectations now? Our expectation is that this low, let me not say that. Our expectation is that the market was to move down into the origin. And usually, when we move down to the origin, it's for the market to reject and liquidate. I'm sure you guys see the origin put in new highs as well, but I'd like to, take a step back and remind you that with DTFX, we are not looking for highs and lows to be taken as our primary mode of thinking. I'd like to say that we keep our perspective between zones, and then ultimately we're looking for, our perspective in the market is that price bounces from zone to zone, and each bounce from a zone weakens the zone, and that eventually leads to the zone being liquidated. Now, if a zone holds and creates a new low or a new high, cool. It's just about managing our expectations. Are we expecting that? Because it's very important. If you bring that mindset into managing a position in real time, you're gonna get cooked, right? I'm talking about the mindset of, let's take this high, let's take this low. But not only it's like that for mindset, not only is it to manage our expectations, but if you just back test, you'll understand that, bro, zones are meant to be liquidated, bro. I don't be expecting none of this shit to hold. But what I do be expecting is a substantial rejection to come from it that I can manage. And then I take my 10, 20 points and I'm done for the day. So look, we had a 5-second closure. Below this inside low. Now what we want to see is something like that. And I'm gonna make a list, because I'm talking about managing your expectations a lot. But I'm just out here, bro. I'm just out here, fam. Like, I'm teaching because they ain't shit for me to do, bro. I'm just out here, bro. I'm here waiting for an entry. I'm just here waiting for an entry, bro. I can't lie, right now it feels like I'm blabbing and shit. Let me remove this before I start thinking some shit. Like I said, my entry is gonna be below this low here. We'll get to see what happens. For higher prices, you know, I'm not ready for it yet. Alright, cool. Look, I want you guys to pay attention to this as well. You guys see on the 15-second, this last down move, right? I'm saying it now because obviously this purple line is now here. So usually when we get at least 2 rejections from a zone and we liquidate it, that substantial rejection that you're looking to manage, it comes from an unmitigated zone here. So look, I'm gonna show you real quick. You see how we close out, move back into the range and reject from it, given that 1-to-1 that Dave always talks about. And then we reject from it the second time, move out the range, given that 1-to-1 that Dave always talks about. So just from back testing now, what I kept on seeing that when we have multiple rejections from the zone, there's usually an unmitigated zone below it. It's the same reason why I was looking at this zone here. Because I saw that we had multiple rejections coming from it. And I know that once we liquidate it, in this case, what do we see? An imbalance. Or this S&D. So that's why I was paying attention. I'm gonna keep that on my chart as well. That's why I'm paying attention to this right here. So we got that. On the 5-minute, I'm tracking the last candle. I'm gonna wait for this 5-minute to close though. That's what I will do. I'm gonna wait for this 5-minute candle to close before even building any idea that we want to target this low. And that's why I track the 5-minute previous range, which I told you guys in the beginning, and the 5-minute highs and lows of the current candle or the previous candle, whatever. Those are my targets. This yellow line. So in the same, I told you guys that once I see the liquidation of that first reversal, it's the current trend responsible for liquidating that. That's where I'm counting my swings in order to get into an entry. Now, mind you, I'm always counting swings, but where it truly matters, this is how you stop yourself getting tripped out or tripped up. Because yes, when we get that liquidation of the counter trend reversal, anyway, I don't need to repeat myself twice. So this 5 minute closed with a okay. That's significant. Nice. I want you guys to pay attention to this now. This personally for me is my confirmation. So when I see the liquidation of the S&D responsible, from this point on, you usually see an imbalance or an impulsive move towards that, you know, previous candle. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we usually reverse. This current trend up is what was responsible for liquidating that. This was a closure on a 5 seconds, so let's go on a 5 seconds. This is responsible for liquidating that counter trend reversal, right? So once you see that liquidation, what I usually pay attention to is the S&D responsible. And what my entry looks like is and you can usually get a quick 10 points from a move like this. Let's observe it. Let's just observe it. On the 5 second, this is the S&D responsible. What was responsible for liquidating it? Are you guys understanding what I mean about managing substantial rejections? 20 points. Targeting what? It's a bit, but you guys get the point, bro. And that's target reached. That's what I do every day. Literally, that is what I do every day. Would you have been a part of this pullback? No. Why? Because you know where. So the 5 minute target, the 5 minute high or low, targeting that sets my expectations straight. Greed? What's that? You don't even know what greed is. You don't know what greed is. Why? Because when you back test, you'll understand that targeting that previous candle high or low will work out for you more times than not. And when you choose to ignore it, oof, you guys see the result of that, right? It's something I struggled with as well. So rather than aiming for like, you know, structural highs and lows that you may see on, you know, the lower time frame, this is why I emphasize that at least, what am I looking for? What is my perspective locked into? The previous range on the 5 minute. I've noticed that I can consistently close 20 points with this perspective, at least. Applying the knowledge I've learned from DTFX. Not on the 5 second, not on the 15 second, not on the 1 minute, but on the 5 minute. That kind of context. So Donna asked in the beginning of the stream, you still be on a seconds chart? I do. But how I apply the knowledge, how I apply DTFX, it's I need to find the words for it, but I've recognized that the order in which I apply the concepts matters way more than just seeing it on one time frame and being like, yeah, I'm just gonna see this previous range, I'm gonna see the S&D responsible, and I'm just gonna long. Oh, I see the origin of the move on this 15-second time frame, I'm just gonna long. And it sounds basic, it sounds like basic advice, and it really is, but that's where my mentality was stuck in. Because I was focused on, you know, the multiple entries in a day, like, bro, that mentality does not, it doesn't serve you. What has served me this year alone was making sure that one decision that I make was, of course, aligned with my rules. But what actually I could actually root myself in my plan, because I've understood that, yo, all I need is like 20 points. That's a lie. All I need is like 10 points. But I'm able to break through my quota by just being patient. And I'll be rewarded with more than enough if I just exercise patience. If I just exercise patience. And that's why when it comes to applying DTFX, see, I appreciate Dave because he gave us the technicals. He gave us the technical skills to actually gather intelligence from the market and now make an informed decision. However, there's another learning curve that you guys need to get through, and that is all that's mentality, my bro. And that's why for myself, the approach that I have now, it's all about waiting for liquidations. That is like, if I had to call it, like, bro, Dave already gave you guys a profitable system, a technical system. Bro, you need that mental system as well to operate the technical system. And in order to make it fit my personality, I had to, you know, self-reflect and all of that, journal and all of that, see where my losses were coming from and all of that. And I realized my biggest problem was waiting. When I opened the chart with a fresh perspective, I knew my first trade was a hit. Why? Because I was willing to wait for the correct things. And there's, 5 things that I wait for. That mentality was what actually got me to withdraw profit every day. The first one was, in fact, I've got a list. I've got a list. Let me just pull out this list. I had it on in fact, yeah, it's on. Let me see. Or did I erase it all? Fuck it. trying to see if I pull up this list because right now it should be there. In any case, okay, fuck it. I can't find the list right now. So if I'm on a 5 minute, the very first thing I'm paying attention to is, or let me dub it, right? It's literally, wait, bro, let me just write it down. Because bro, what the fuck? Number one, me. Number one, liquidate the previous candle. That's what you guys saw me doing with this yellow arrow here. The very reason of me tracking, or as Dave calls it, trailing your highs and lows, is because eventually that habit will be how you take profit. By actually targeting previous candle highs and lows. I personally do it on the 5 minute. So when you see price at the top of the range, you're immediately looking at the previous candle low. If you guys see price at the bottom of the range, you're immediately looking at the previous candle high. Why? Because you're looking to manage a rejection from usually a wick, but you know, it don't even matter what it looked like. But let's say from the extreme, which yeah, you guys see the boxes there, so that's where the entry was. The second thing that you're going to look for is, hold on, liquidate 4 swings. You have to wait for that before you can even consider liquidating the trend reversal. Once the trend reversal is liquidated, there was something. Hold on. I think I forgot something. I did. Forgot. Okay, cool. I won't erase it. Liquidate the previous candle, liquidate 4 swings, liquidate the trend reversal. Boom. Liquidate multiple rejections. Or Dave calls it liquidate multiple mitigations, which is the what I showed you guys in the this. Yeah, you could even say, but I'm not even gonna use that though. This what the that's multiple rejections. So I showed you guys my confirmation here on how I enter a trade, but I did not actually participate simply because this liquidating multiple rejections, and then of course what you guys saw me do, number 5 is liquidate the S&P responsible. That is the mentality you need, my bro. If you are learning DTFX, This is the mentality you need, my bro. You need to wait for liquidations. I say this shit now, and it may seem so obvious, but your win rate comes from waiting. And where I used to go wrong was I used to have such a, yo, it's crazy. So the only reasons I would be on a 15-second time frame was to capitalize on opportunities now. But I took that mindset a bit extreme. I used to tell myself, okay, cool. I want to see an opportunity right now. Where is it? But that thought process, that thought pattern led to impulsiveness. Because I had this idea that I could scalp everywhere in the market. And don't get it twisted, we are still scalping, but in very specific areas after very specific conditions have been met. And that's the whole point of these are the conditions. This is my conclusion after just a lot of back testing, a lot of losing, a lot of winning, a lot of experience. For everyone studying DTFX, I just want to fix your mentality, bro. That's what I want to do. I want to fix your mentality. I don't want this shit to be more time. I'm here trying to teach you technical skills. That's already been done. That's what Dave is for. He can join his mentorship for that shit. But if you're watching this YouTube live, my bro, the crux of it all is literally waiting for liquidations. That's the mindset you need, my bro. That's the mindset you need, my bro. Waiting for something to be taken. Multiple things like that. And also, I'll say this. Fuck. I had it in my mind, bro. It was wait for liquidations. Oh, fuck. I had it in my mind. Oh, my days. No, I'm getting that. Wait, let me think of this. I forgot. I thought I could just close my eyes and search my brain now. I forgot, bro. But it's cool. It's cool. Regardless, I gave you guys a lot of information. Let me join yeah, that's what I knew it. These guys are here, bro. Yo! Oh, everyone's yeah, okay, cool. JD still active, bro.
I'm here.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
I'm live streaming right now, by the way.
You said what?
I'm live streaming right now on YouTube.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Just letting you know.
Let me see.
You guys looking at US 30?
Yo, so my boys.
Well, go on.
It was good.
This wasn't my trade, by the way.
Looking at Triple D.
Let me check out US
Okay.
30, bro.
I definitely took a W today.
Took a W?
Yeah, 1200.
Yes, sir.
This is another example. Hold on, I'm gonna mute. Alright, cool. This is another example, yeah? I had this marked out ages ago. Oh, it's a daily time frame. Okay, cool. Oh, it's the first time I'm showing it on stream. That's why. Yeah, cool. So you guys see that we've been mitigating this area, rejecting from it multiple times, and that. Right. Now, in this case, we didn't. I mean, if you had to be techie with it, technically there's an imbalance here. You know what I'm saying? I personally would not use that. I prefer to just wait in my unmitigated zones. I don't use imbalances, right? But on any pair, my attention is directly focused on the previous day high and low. And as I go down onto the lower time frames, it's about tracking that previous candle. That allows me to know the current direction of the trend immediately, just like that, simplified, right? And then the 15-minute is where I get my daily bias from. We immediately see that we got a range there, we got that, we got that. Boom. Boom, we failed to close above that. So in any case, we're at the top of the range, so I'm looking to sell. I'm not looking to buy. We see this pullback occur. We know that once we get the liquidation of the pullback, it creates a previous range for us to move back inside. Right, let me go on a 5-minute now, which I told you guys, that's the perspective I lock myself into when it comes to trading after my higher time frame analysis. So what do I see on a 5-minute? That the range that we're currently, well, the previous range that we're currently in is this. And we move back inside it, like we do all the time, right? Let me get rid of this. Oops. Boom, 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 boom. We failed to close below that. And if we're counting our, well, so look, in this situation here, right, if you see this particular market condition in which we see only the liquidation of 1 and 2, just know that the trend is new. And you trying to short a fresh trend, a fresh uptrend, price is likely going to liquidate you out of your position. That's the importance of counting swings as well, because once you know that the market usually reverses after 4 swings are liquidated, you know that the likelihood of you actually counter trading is shit. If we're literally just liquidating the first, the second, like, why would you think the market's gonna give you momentum to counter trend when we know that what you always wait for is four? So allow that to happen first. And usually, I'm gonna say this as well, I used to have a problem with waiting, but what I've understood is, especially in these conditions where we have a fresh uptrend, the opportunity you're currently looking for, so for right now, I want to sell, and the only thing that could get in my way is my impatience, and I'll try and sell prematurely, right? But what I've noticed that when you choose to wait, that opportunity, that sell that you're looking to take at the top of the range, another opportunity will be presented to you whilst that opportunity to sell is forming. So it's not as if you have to wait for four higher time frame swings to be liquidated. No, why? Because, okay, cool. We know that 4 swings and then the market is likely to reverse. And I told you guys what? When it comes to the 5-minute, I'm looking at the previous range. So I'm looking at this pullback that's happening right now. We know that when we close out of a pullback, it creates a previous range for the market to move back into. What do you think I'm looking for at these areas? If I know that the market is in a fresh uptrend, I'm looking for continuations. But I couldn't reach that point of awareness because my impulsiveness held me back for so long. But yeah, man.
Break it. So I'd rather just pay for it. But that's
Yeah, it's money that you're gonna be losing
yeah.
at the end of the day.
I think my goal is just to start off with 3 counts, and then I think the max I want to do is 5. Yeah, I want to do 3 counts.
And then you go to a live account.
Yeah, that'd be insane, bro. That's my goal, is do a live account. I don't want to do funded no more. I want to go live account. So at least I can just take out my gains, whatever
Funded,
I make.
as in, one thing about funded is that it takes you a step closer, to getting
It
paid,
does.
but it takes you a step further away of actually getting good habits.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So it's a trade-off. You feel me? Live account is always better, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is facts. But nah, yeah, I was just telling them that that I'm gonna just start copy trading my fundeds.
Yes, exactly, bro. I got Replicanto. It's a Ninja Trader thing.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right? What is it called again?
Replicanto.
I think. I couldn't figure out the name, what it was.
But any trade I can't vouch for other trade copies. I know Replicanto do me justice.
Because I know some are delayed though, like I heard. I buy it like a little bit. Yeah,
I'd say Replicanto is industry like top-notch quality.
Oh yeah, you might have to send that link in here.
Yeah,
or send it.
I will do that now.
Bro, I know somebody that, bro, this nigga just started trading. I don't know. It's crazy. Nigga traded 9 accounts and caught that whole NASDAQ move yesterday. Holy.
Compounding,
man.
like that's all of one trade as well. But you compounded your efforts. It's really the way.
Yeah,
in a trading chat.
Huh?
In a trading chat.
Yeah. You can put it. You put it wherever you want. I'm gonna just copy it and put it in on
Oh shit! I just seen that you posted in the account as well. Hey, that's sick, bro. That's sick.
Yeah, I appreciate
Come
it.
on, man. Congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it.
Another one.
Another one. But as for, I know this works for Ninja Trader, but I know that you guys are on different platforms and TraderVate and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how it's gonna work though.
No, you good.
So no.
I think that might be the one, because the guy I used to just say in the call with. That's probably what that name sounds familiar. Damn, Jetty, you would have still been in this freaking trade. You good things happen. Look at that 5-minute real quick. I want to see 5-minute order flow. Ooh. Yeah, if you master 5-minute order flow, sheesh. No more minutes you can eat.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I know you are, bro. Just got a back test, bro. That's all it is. I used to be so horny to back test. Like I usually like would take a like trade and then like once I lose or once I win, I just back test like all day.
Mm.
I remember those days.
Yeah, I got back test more.
So, bro, one thing about Ninja Trader is that it's so clunky, bro. So clunky. Tracking that previous candle. Ooh, we haven't even been close against it. So that's literally a representation of the previous candle. Oh.
Got my siblings off. Holy. Can't wait till them niggas start driving. Who doesn't respect this fair value gap? I'm trolling. I'm trolling, bro. I'm trolling. I'm actually looking at the 1 minute wiki. I'm actually looking at the 1 minute wiki. Get that 1 hour. Hold on, get that 1 hour.
Wow. Failed to close against his previous candle.
Got a 5 minute. Let's see.
See his previous range that way.
5 minute fair value gap right here with the failed.
Failed to close. Target that.
Let me see if I still have this in the back of my head.
Last up candle, 5 minute range.
Go to my picture real quick. Let me see if I still have this in my bag. Let's look at some 15 minutes.
Let's step to the 1 minute.
15 minute high and lows. Check out these lows. We got lows right here on this 15 minute. Let's get this 5 minute again.
And I'm paying attention to.
We did come in with this fair value gap.
For real.
Let's look at this 1 minute. We did come here about.
See the zone.
Disrespect.
I've been onto multiple times. I prefer to manage my risk below it and manage a rejection from an unmitigated area.
Dies in.
So
Take it short.
we'll see how that goes. I'll put an alert.
Let's see if your boy still got it.
Let's invert this and see if it's
Out of 3. Good.
We'll also see the same thing. See it tapping.
I still got it.
Tapping and go.
Let's see if I still got it, man.
So we see an unmitigated area here for us to manage from to go up. So let's see what happens there. Let's get rid of that.
I think my boy Wonder blew his account. That's why he didn't join. And Shibuya.
You think so?
I could probably tell. All right, man. Let's see if I'm gonna eat.
2 minute came back over here.
Alright, Becky. Actually, let me actually have some fun. 15-minute looking low spice.
It's inverted still. You know, I don't really check out 500. But JPY, I'm gonna check.
Oh. See, I'm telling you, that 1 minute, bro, is a little dangerous.
Did you get stopped?
No, I ain't get stopped yet.
Rewatch.
Look, I don't trade 1 minute no more. This is why I don't trade 1 minute. Look how ass that is. I mean, I'm not discrediting nobody. I'm not discrediting nobody's talents. I'm not discrediting no one, but damn. I don't know how you niggas do it, but I'll give you guys credit.
It depends on how you analyze that shit. Because
That's
the 1
true.
minute,
I'm
yeah,
just-
the 1 minute is.
I was bullshitting though.
Check this area out too as well. See multiple
I was
rejections. From
definitely bullshitting with the analysis.
Bow.
Yeah, that looks a little bit
We sweep.
bullish coming out
We
this
see a
fair
move
value
back and
gap.
targeting what? Previous candle.
Coming out this fair
That's in
value
15
gap.
minutes,
Picking up those eyes.
Now the
15
unmitigated
minutes
area
looking
shit
for those
ain't
studies.
so I wouldn't.
Hold on, wait, baggy. Hold on, wait, baggy. We back in the bag?
Oh, never mind. Look at that. Last down move there. So you can see
2
plenty of
minutes, huh?
examples of this. This is my setup. The only thing I'm willing to wait for. So let's go on 15. You see that we're currently trending up.
Very close. I had the same thing, Jerry.
Okay, so the previous range that we're looking at is
That's a sharp rejection down though.
hold on.
Slow violent move.
Boom.
What you gonna do? Remember, take your stop loss. Put your stop. You second guess it over, get in.
I don't really like this candle right here on the 2 minute
Cheers, man.
so far.
I can't get to the 2 minute. Here's I'm gonna get to the 3. Okay.
But yeah. I don't even need to do a top down. Just see this 5 minute previous range. Tapping onto the S&D, but we know that the ones at the top of the range are made to be liquidated. There's a unmitigated area here that we can tap into. Depending on how many swings are liquidated on its way down, it could be an opportunity for you to, you know, bow. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in a zone, you do want to wait for that counter trend reversal to be liquidated.
I kind of like the 5 minute though.
So,
I think I'm taking too long anyways.
this is the plan, but the market can have different plans too. If I can only engage if I see some shit like this. I had a zone irrelevant now.
Oh my gosh. We were at fucking 8. Oh yeah, I would have been at break even right now. Gotta stick to the 1 minute. Gotta stick to my rules. Gotta stick to my rules. Would have been a good 250. Only in love with her like this. Holy fuck. Baggerton. I almost got hit stop loss too. Oh, do I still have it? Oh, let me look at this 1 hour. I don't think 1 hour is gonna push that far down. Yo, you ready? All right, put on some juice. Holy fuck. Oh, well, if you guys aren't here, I'll get back. I hope you guys have a blessed day.
All right, take
I'll be
care,
at the
bro.
gym.
Be at the gym. All right.
Yeah, I'm at the gym. I'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow, bro. What's up, bro? You gotta back to this monkey.
Real talk though.
No, I don't got my computer.
Oh shit.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Monkey.
I probably could on my dad's computer. We'll see.
It's all good, bro.
When there's a will, there's a what?
Yeah, if you really want it, bro, you'll find a way, bro. If you really want it, JDR. You turn on my camera, bro. If you really want it, you would find a way.
Find a way, bro.
Like that.
I'll figure it out.
I'll chill it, bro. All right, then, bro. Have a good day.
I'm not.
I'll see you when I see you.
Right there.
Be muted.
Oh yeah, Baggy. You know, what's it called? I think it was yesterday when I was trying to say I want to explain my system in a concise way. Yeah, I managed to do that shit, bro.
He just left, bro.
Oh, for real? Oh shit.
Yeah, I think he just left.
So no more.
Or at least he got mute though.
Oh no. We'll just study the market. Sitting inside this range. What you're waiting for? Either that or that. When you're trading inside these environments. Usually an unmitigated area below it. But we just observe. So
Joe, I'm gonna be on Monday. Right? Have a good day, bro.
yo, take care, bro.
You too.
So we see an imbalance. So okay, cool. Let me go on a 15. So as I always say, when we close out of a pullback, it creates a previous range for the market to move back into. The ranging that was happening just before the closure, how can I call it? At first it was a range, and then once it closed out of a range, it turns into the level responsible for closing out struck, the S&D responsible, whatever, right? Because this is such a large range, I like to focus my attention there. But it's also important to track the S&D responsible because it gives you a lot of context on where the market wants to go. It helps manage expectations a lot better than just focusing on structural highs and lows and waiting for them to be liquidated in order to know, okay, cool, the market is likely to go in this direction. It's likely to go in that direction. For me, I track the S&D responsible, not to trade from, but to actually gain insight, an earlier indication of where the market wants to go to. And that applies in all time frames. It's just not something I'm willing to, like, that's just structure, but like, that shit you should be able to see as soon as you get on the chart. So let's see what this 5-minute candle closure looks like, and I'll be able to trail that. It's either, oh man. Keep it consistent for real. So this 5-minute candle ended up failing to close above that. So from a higher time frame perspective, we know that we're still ranging inside this one up candle here. Which is actually a good indication that we do want to short. So when you track that S&D, I'm paying attention to, yeah, just like that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Woo! Look at that. And all you guys need to do is backtest these rules, bro. Now, initially. Oof. Look at that. Look, previous candle low. Technically here. But if I were to be conservative about my targets and understanding where I'm content, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm cool with that. Especially if you understand NASDAQ and about the way shorts develop. Look at that. 20 points from where? That's a 1-to-1. You know, if you put your risk behind the zone. That's what I usually do. Once I see that 1-to-1 there, immediately break even. You can, that's one thing I do like about what? Fucking liquidating the S&D responsible. Because once you get that entry inside, like you can expect a 1-to-1 from your entry. That's the whole point of an entry. You can, as soon as you click the button, the likelihood of you attaining a 1-to-1 is very likely, and then you can take the risk off the table. Right now I'm considering the order, because obviously I look at this, I do look at that, I do look at this, and then I do look at that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the order. And I do want to, that's it. I wanted to stress the importance of order. One thing that tripped me up when I was studying DTFX was the order in which I apply what I knew. Oh my days. Oh, if someone just told me this shit. Like, I'll be real, when I was in Dave's mentorship, bro, his shit was structured. This shit was methodical, but I can't lie, he ain't the best, bro. Like, I know, I appreciate it though, but teaching is a different skill. And I know that I myself had a lot of my own personal issues trying to engage and, you know, operate the system, but the way that it just clicked, just fixed into my mind was order over everything. The order in which you apply what you know was how I was able to maintain discipline, honestly. Because I understood that in my own life, that's how I operate. But I wasn't operating like that in trading for some reason. But when I was, it seemed seamless. So it's not only what you know, it's not only when you apply it, but I believe what answers the question of how do you apply DTFX? It's this right here. How? The how? I'm gonna say it again. The how you apply DTFX is this right here, bro. But I know Dave took a lot of shit off his YouTube channel, you know. Hey, like, hey, like, yo, shit, he took the playlist off his channel, bro. I can't lie, I downloaded that shit ages ago, for For real. Like, you got, man. But, bro, definitely, man, if you guys are looking for help, shout me, bro. I'll put my socials in the description after, this live stream or whatever. But, like, I haven't been on socials at all. Like, I've just been in the lab. I've been in trading view playback mode. That's where your boy has been. Tightening, making sure my shit is efficient as fuck, making sure that my behavior aligns with my decisions, my goals. Just life shit, you know what I'm talking about, bro? Just life shit. But even after, of course we saw confirmation right there, but you still have to understand where you are. And this is why, for me, the 5-minute perspective just fits. You know what I'm talking about? It just fits. Because prior, I was trying to learn things from the 1 minute. Not from the 1 minute, but like using the 1 minute as like my anchor, essentially, which it didn't really work for me. And I kept on, because Dave taught on the 1 minute, I thought I had to be on the 1 minute too. Until just, cool, just time on the charts, just let me know that really and truly, price is only ever doing one thing at a time. And all time frames are just a reflection of just that one thing. That's why narrative is important. What is price doing? Because it's only ever doing one thing. Even if the information you may perceive is doing something different, you can build a narrative of the 1 second, but is that what price is doing? Which is why, the context of like top-down analysis and shit like that that's why it's needed. But I figured out for myself that if you want to keep up with intraday moves, bro, the previous range on the 5-minute gives you all the context that you need. The previous range on the 5-minute gives you all the context that you need. If you're looking to, trade intraday, that's what works for me. That's what's been getting me results. And that's literally the same method of approach that I've been using to withdraw profit. But that's when I'm trading. When, let's say at the start of the session, I'm like, yo, okay, cool. Oh shit, was that just now? Anyway, this is what I'm looking for. A move back in. It's not a substantial rejection yet. That's just a move back into this range. But that substantial rejection, we know that the first reversal usually gets liquidated anyway, so especially when you see consecutive candles on its way down. Because look, I told you guys that a closure in the beginning of the stream, a closure against the previous candle initiates a pullback. And when when we close against that pullback, it it creates a previous range for the market to move back into. We know that the high or low responsible for closing out of that range is structure. That's a structural high or low. So we know that that's a target for us. That target is usually just a 5-minute high. That's it. But on the 1 minute, it's at least for me, in my personal experience, the 1 minute just had me confused a bit. That's all. And the 5 minute, just taking a step back, an extra time frame on the 5 minute, it just helped to tie everything together. I'm telling you, this is a closed system, bro. I believe the only thing that's actually limiting you or prohibiting you from understanding DTFX as a whole is literally this, my bro. Literally waiting. Because this is the most efficient system. It is, bro. It is. Like, you can build a sustainable income lifestyle just from these words. This. If I told you guys how I started, man, you wouldn't even believe me, bro. Failing, so yeah. We're still within this one candle here. Let me see. That's liquidation of 1. That's a lie. 1. That's 2. 3, so reversal, so that's not. Anyway, cool, it can be 3, but whatever. What do you want to wait for? Are you chasing this? Oh, I see a reversal, that means the market must go higher. Nah, bro. Even if it does go higher, okay, cool, let's say if it does go higher, how do you respond to that behavior? Are you chasing that? No, you are not. Because you got rules. What do? You wait for liquidations. And you know that you will be rewarded for your patience. Literally, you will be rewarded for your patience, bro. I'm telling you, this is the glue. It's the glue that ties, because, you know, I appreciate Dave because, of course, he taught the technical aspect of things, right? And of course, in his mentorship, that's more mental and such. But even in his mentorship, everything is compartmentalized in the way he teaches. This is the whole. Everything as a whole. But, you know, I'm sure, like, maybe for someone that's new, they're probably going to ask questions like, what's a swing? Or what's a reversal? Or mitigations, liquid and multiple rejections / mitigations. What's the S&D responsible? You know, like, those questions are answered in his videos, right? I don't need to teach you that. He's already done that work. But what I can do for you is show you how to glue everything that you've been learning from Dave and help you actually build a mindset to sustain that. Withdraw profit from it. Direct the knowledge that you got. Because that's been my biggest obstacle for such a long time. But this year was really the year of, okay, you know what now, man? My impulsive self clearly doesn't know what it's doing. Clearly doesn't know what it's doing. The impatience within me clearly puts me in situations that I do not like. And what was the consistent factor of my impulse? It was the impatience. It was unrealistic expectations, and if you just had let the market unfold, if you just let the market show its hands, you'd understand that, boy. This is all you need. So no confirmation, that's fine. We ended up okay, cool. I clearly didn't do a top-down analysis on this. Yeah, sure. Let's do a top-down analysis. Okay, well done. Oh, I did. Then that means there's no confirmation. So the trend responsible for closing out of this range, we only see 1, 2, and 3. So a likelihood of us managing a substantial rejection right would be below where? Also pay attention to this. I'm sure this was like a previous certain high, not on the daily, but I'm sure on the hourly. The move was done from here. Yeah. The move was done from here. Also, that high was not part of structure. What was it? Yep, that high was not part of structure. So let's say you engaged in this move, you would have taken profit right there, and you would have waited for this. And once you've exited your position, so you sold your position high, essentially all you're looking at, you know not to engage in the middle of a range. You're waiting for a closure against that pullback in order to create a previous range to move back into. And then of course, taking into consideration where you are on a high time frame helps. And that's where all your decisions should be derived from, a higher time frame analysis. I just rushed. That's a mistake that I make at times, you know, like when you just look at the, let's say the 1 minute, and you'd be like, and you do. So basically, what I used to go wrong was building narrative starting from the lower time frame. Essentially, literally building narrative from the lower time frame will cause you losses, right? And you want to start from a higher time frame. Duh. It's a duh, like comment, like duh, but I was making those mistakes, and maybe you are too. And if you're not, then good. But someone gotta hear that, for real. What's US 30 doing? So because we failed to like liquidate this S&D, it gives us an early indication of where price would likely to go. What the fuck? But time is it now? Or starting? Hey, this was a good intro. I'm gonna be making more videos on this channel, specifically on like, you know, managing risk, expanding on what I just showed you guys today. I appreciate everyone that came on the stream. Seriously, I hope that you guys learned a lot, and yo, stay tuned, bro. I'm finna cut well, I'm gonna continue trading, but I just really don't have anything else left to say. Like anything I'm gonna say now is gonna be unstructured as fuck, and I'm gonna be everywhere. So I'm gonna stop the stream and just plan, you know, what I'm gonna share with you guys in the future. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Hope you guys enjoy your day. Make sure to back test the weekend, bro.